Welcome to COVID Mental Wellness Check-In. I'm Monique Graves, and today we will be discussing self-care for young men. Today's presenter is none other than East Palo Alto born and raised Sean Chatmon. Sean is an African-American mental health therapist in the Bay Area who was born and raised in East Palo Alto. Growing up, Sean witnessed and experienced traumatic events and noticed how these events, as well as the experiences of his peers, shaped him and changed his way of thinking of the world. Sean took interest in finding solutions or ways that people can deal with their emotions and experiences in a positive way, and received his bachelor's degree in psychology from Whittier College and got his master's degree in counseling psychology at Santa Clara University. Today, Sean works as a licensed program supervisor for a family and children's program and early intervention program at Catholic Charities Santa Clara. Sean loves to spend his free time with connecting with family and friends or alone working on music and poetry. The next voice you will hear will be that of Sean Chatmon. Please remember, if you have any questions, please list them in the chat box, or you can also text us and we will talk about those questions throughout the presentation. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at the end.
Support, like no one to talk to, no one to turn to. Can make you just deal with the different things that you're experiencing on your own and start to feel really sad for yourself or bad for yourself, and feeling like, oh, no one's here because I'm not lovable, for example, is a thought that we work on a lot in therapy. It's a very common thought that people experience. And then there's just a whole host of like negative thought patterns that can be associated with the mistreatment and the different things that are taking place in our lives. Which bring me to the next piece. As Black men, as Black people, historically in this country, we have never been treated with respect by our oppressors and by significant people in power. And as a result, I can't help but wonder how that impacts our self-esteem. So as I'm growing up as a Black man and I'm watching Black men be killed by police, Black men be killed by each other, right? Other Black men. I'm watching how the only time I see Black men on the TV is they're rapping, acting, or in sports, right? It starts to shape who I can be or who I believe I can be as a Black man. And that can definitely impact our self-esteem into thinking like, oh, I'm only valuable if I can have the nicest clothes and car and shoes. If I'm a good rapper and I got my chains popping, or if I'm an athlete, those are the only ways that I can be valuable to this world as a Black man. And so, definitely be curious about that within yourselves. How have you allowed what you see on your daily life, on your timeline as you scroll? How have you allowed that to shape the way that you view who you can be and who you are in this world? And as you're looking, maybe you're 16, you don't have a job yet, you're not making money, you can't afford a car, you can't afford clothes. Does that then impact the way that you view yourself, and you think like, oh, I'm nothing until I can get these different things, right? If any of those things are true for you, then you may be having a little bit of a battle with your self-esteem and your sense of self-worth. Because I can tell you right now, just being alive and being here today shows how strong and resilient you are, regardless of what you've gone through. And you're valuable as a human, even if you don't have a really expensive car, house, a really nice job, right? Everybody is valuable. And in the working world, I say from the janitor all the way through to the CEO, each of those components are essential, right? Without a janitor, I don't know if anybody's ever been in a building or a home that's not super clean. Just think about how you feel in that space versus a space where it's clean and it's neat and you can breathe, you can think. All of those different roles are important. And so it doesn't matter what your title is. It doesn't matter what job you have. Just you being a human being, being in a relationship with your family, your friends, your community, you're valuable. You're a piece of that community. And from me to you, I care about you. You're important to me. And your life and what you do in your life is important to me, because you just don't know who you're going to impact in your life just by meeting them, saying hello, simple things. But then again, what you do in your life may create pathways for different people to experience things that they never experienced, or learn things that they didn't know, or grow in ways that they didn't even think were possible. So just know that on the basic of just being human, I like to call us Black kings. I believe we are royalty. I believe we are resilient, and should then be valued and looked at as that. But unfortunately, in this country, there's always been a lack of respect, a lack of acknowledgement for our value, just based on our skin color or where we're from, or how we talk or how we dress. If any of this is connecting with y'all, I hope it is. Then we're going to move into the next piece about what else can we do then, or if you can think of someone who has low self-esteem, and what does that look like, and is that the type of person that you want to be? So I'm not going to count on the activity piece, but I'm just going to throw it out here for those watching. Bring someone to mind that has low self-esteem. What about them lets you know that they have a low self-esteem? And then a super challenge for you is if you can identify a celebrity that has low self-esteem right now, or at some point had low self-esteem, and then explain why, like to yourself, just to think about that and visualize what it looks like to have low self-esteem, so that we can create that difference in low self-esteem versus a positive or healthy self-esteem, and what that can look like for different people. If you're having trouble identifying ways that you can tell someone has a low self-esteem, I'll share a couple ideas with you. Obviously, you have the privacy and the space to reflect inward and say, like, oh, is this me? Am I, does this sound like me? So I'll share a couple characteristics that are common for people who are maybe struggling with either low self-esteem or depression, or a combination of different mental health related issues, because of the things that they've been through and because of what people have told them, or the way that people have treated them. So with people with low self-esteem, you may see that their social circle is either really big, but not like profound, not super deep, right? Maybe you connect because all of y'all like football, or all of you like certain girls, or there's a common interest, but you're not really able to show everybody around you who you are. And so those relationships you have, I call them more acquaintances than friends. Like, you may know 30, 40, 50, 100 people, but like, are they really friends? Are they people that you can call, hey, look, man, I'm going through something? Because if not, then, I wouldn't really consider them friends. They're more acquaintances, people that that walking down the hallway, you say what's up to, or on your timeline, on the different social medias you interact with from time to time. And you may find that if you're struggling with a low self-esteem, or with some depression even, or trauma and different things, that you're starting to push people away, right? Maybe you're closing off yourself. Maybe people are inviting you out. And, obviously with COVID, there's a reason why we don't want to go out and be around people. But if you notice before that, or maybe as we come out of COVID and have learned how to be safe with COVID, that you're still like, I'd rather just stay home and like watch TV, or stay home and play this video game. And that in of itself is not unhealthy or bad. But if you're noticing that, like, people that you care about and like to spend time with, usually you're not spending time with, that's when you can tell, like, okay, something might be going on for me, where I'm trying to isolate or withdraw from those people, right? Or if you're having feelings of being unloved, feeling alone, feeling depressed, feeling like no one cares about you, right? You're going to also act in ways that sometimes create that, by isolating, right? The few people that do reach out to you, you're not getting back to them, but you waiting on, this dude or this girl to hit you back, and they never do. And you start to feel sad. You start to feel bad about yourself. Or if you notice that you've been spending a lot of your time doing unhealthy activities, I'm not going to cast any judgment on any activities, but some of those could be, escape behavior. So escaping what you're feeling, whether it's through substance use, right? Different, even sometimes TV and video games can be a big time escape if that's all you're doing to feel better. You could also be making, poor decisions that don't connect with your goals. So what I mean by that is, like, you may have a dream to be a doctor, but you hate going to school, or you keep missing your science class, and deep within you that, oh, I need this to get to the next level. I need this grade so I can get to this class, so I can get to where I'm trying to go. But if you're kind of closing yourself off or shutting that opportunity down for yourself, then maybe you're dealing with some different things psychologically, self-esteem, that could be impacting your either confidence or your ability to go, or making you feel like, oh, there's no point, like I shouldn't even try, right? Another thing that we see commonly is that sometimes people who bully others or talk bad about others a lot may be dealing with their own self-esteem issues because they're trying to push somebody else down so that they can feel better. Like, oh, like I might not be, super fast, but at least I'm not looking like him, right? And you point somebody out and everybody laughs, but just realizing that that within that, you're not really helping, and you're not, you're creating a new problem for that other individual, because now that person that you're bullying may start struggling with self-esteem issues, right? And I know on social media there's a lot of easy ways for us to send harsh comments or mean things to different people. And so I had a question come in: what is the best way to address these issues? I'm assuming the ones that we just discussed, about limiting your circle and different things like that, which I definitely will be talking about. We're going to be doing an activity where I won't be able to hear your feedback, but I'm hoping that everybody on the stream can at least do it with me and visualize it for themselves. And so I definitely will be answering that in the next couple minutes. So it actually brings me to my next thing. There are several ways therapeutically to improve our self-esteem. And so I'm hoping that I'm going to share a link. I don't know if you'll be able to get it, but if not, I always have access to it, so I can send it to Monique or to whoever later. And so this link is a link to a website called Therapist Aid. It's something that we definitely use a lot as therapists, but I also encourage general public or clients to use. A lot of these tools are very easy for us to use without a therapist, right? So you don't necessarily need a therapist guiding you through these different things, but these are things that you can decide to go do on your own. They have all kinds of tools for all kinds of issues, whether it's anger, sadness, depression, anxiety, self-esteem even. And so this link directly will bring you to a couple worksheets that are based on self-esteem. And I'm actually going to share my screen and show you the screen, and show you the different worksheets, and then kind of explain how we can work through them and even create a little space for us to practice that. And I'll also participate, and then I'll share my answers. And hopefully you all will be encouraged to explore this for yourself and start building self-esteem, because I do feel self-esteem is not something that you can have enough of. There's always room to grow. There's always ways that you can improve your self-esteem. And I think as a result, you will find that you feel a lot less stressed, you feel happier, you feel calmer, you're better able to make decisions that aren't based on fear or on a lack of confidence. And you can really start to push yourself to do some of those hard things that we want to do in our lives. We have, goals and aspirations. And sometimes, unfortunately, our self-esteem or what other people tell us about ourselves can make us view ourselves differently and not shoot for those dreams. We may have the dream floating. We may share with other people, oh yeah, my dream is to do this. But then when we look at our lives and we look at our daily and our weekly progress, are we really working towards those things? And I think sometimes we'll find that when we have a lower self-esteem or when we're not as confident, that the answer is no. Like, I'm actually spending my time, for example, hanging out with friends all the time, or always playing video games instead of working out or working towards, maybe if your goal is like the NFL or something. Or if your goal is just with school, I want to make it to college, right? Are you spending time hitting the books? Are you spending time connecting with classmates, working on projects, getting your grades up, talking to teachers? Or are you just kind of messing around and then saying what sounds good as your goal, but not really living up to that? So I'm going to share my screen now. Hopefully it works. Let's see. Okay. So I think it's pulling it up. This is what that page will look like. The two different worksheets that I know more about and that I like are the strengths use plan. So we're going to go into the first one just to show you what it looks like. I have it here. And it's about, first of all, connecting with and understanding what your strengths are. I think sometimes, unfortunately, if we have low self-esteem, it may be hard for us to identify what our strengths are and what we're good at. And so one question that I always ask to clients and different people that are struggling with this is, well, if you can't think of things that you're good at or things that you like about yourself, then what would your mom or dad or a family member or a friend even say if I said, hey, you know Sean really well, what's something that you like about him? What are some of the things that they would say, right? And maybe you'll find that some of the things that they would say would be like, oh, he's really nice, he's really helpful, he's always there for me, he's supportive, right? Or he's super funny, he's hella funny, like he's cool, I like spending time with him because he understands me, right? Or maybe he's always adventurous, he's always willing to try something new, right? Open-minded. um, or you may find that something on this list here connects with you. And so going to give about 10 seconds just because we're doing it here, but when you're doing it in real life, you want to spend your time on this. Maybe take 10 to 15 minutes to go through this. Identify your top 3 strengths, because then in the next phase, you're going to be creating a plan for how you're going to use those strengths more often, right? So let's say even the strength is your athleticism, or, I'm really fast, I can jump really high, or, and I like that about myself, and I want to make sure that that stays the same. And so then for part 2, it'd be like, how can you plan to use that? Or how can you plan to build on that strength that you already have so that you start feeling good about yourself and really realizing all the good things that you bring to the table, just as a human being, right? So I'll just read through this. People who know their strengths and use them frequently tend to have a higher self-esteem, better moods, and less stress. Learning to use strengths is something that all of us can do. So you're going to plan to use your strengths every day for 1 week. You may use your strengths in either new or familiar ways. So this can be things that you've done before that maybe you just kind of fell off and you're not doing it as much. But the key is to intentionally and purposefully use your strengths, which means like you plan it out, right? So for example, I'm going to scroll down. Let's say that somebody's strengths, right, were their kindness and their curiosity. And so a plan here could be on day 1, because I'm a kind person and that's a strength of mine, I'm going to bring breakfast in for my class, right? Or the office, or I'm going to make breakfast for my family or the people that I live with, right? Or it can be something as simple as like, hey, I'm going to open up 5 doors for people today, right? Or I'm going to say hello to 5 people and wish them a happy day, a good morning, whatever it might be, right? That links with that kindness. And as you're doing it, you're going to feel better about yourself. 1, because you're reaching a goal that you set for yourself. But 2, you know what they say, like a smile and kindness it spreads, it's contagious, right? So you just smiling at somebody, obviously nowadays we were wearing masks, so it's harder to tell if someone's smiling. But saying hello to somebody, opening the door for somebody, telling them good morning, that may even jumpstart their day. Or if you're someone who likes to go out to eat a lot and maybe you like to go to like a Starbucks or a McDonald's or something, right? Paying for a friend or paying for the next person in line is an act of kindness that can really help you feel good and usually surprise them and help them feel, excited and happy, and just spread that kindness and that love. And now everybody in that space is feeling good and witnessing this happen, right? And then you're in the back of your mind, you're noting that, all right, like I practice my kindness. That's one of my strengths, right? Curiosity, just going off this example, after dinner, I'll drive to a new part of town and go for a walk. So just exploring, right? Being adventurous, seeing what else is out there in the world. And I really like this plan because I think it's twofold, especially for us as Black young men, and just in our culture sometimes, and in our communities, it's hard to explore adventure, right? Or maybe it's not safe to do that. But if we have access to transportation, whether it be a bus, whether it be, right, a friend's car or our own vehicles, I always say it's good to explore. You don't know what else is out there. You might go a couple cities over and see something that you really like, right? See a house that you like. And now you didn't know that you wanted a house. But now as you look at that house and you see the way it's set up and see how the people in there are living and they're comfortable, that might set a new goal for you. Like, I want to have a house one day, right? And so just through that curiosity, just through that exploration, you're even expanding what your goals are, and what you may want out of life. And then you make a plan on how to work towards that as you're using your strengths. The last one on here is also curiosity. I will watch a documentary with my friend and discuss it afterwards. So learning something, right? Being curious about what is out there in the world, things that people have recorded, studied, and learning something new there. That's just an example based on curiosity. And you can do one strength a day. You can do a couple strengths every day. But the goal is to do it for about a week. So you kind of start building in that habit of using your strengths. And then what I love about this website is it usually gives you a free worksheet like this one, where you can print this and use it yourself. You can even, if you don't have a printer, pull out a piece of paper and a pen and create this little chart for yourself, right? Where you identify your strength, then you identify your plan for how you're going to use that strength across the different days for a whole week. And, if you want to do this for a month, print out 4 sheets so you have enough to fill up that month. So that's one of the first links that you'll get off of this main link with Therapist Aid. The second one is a best possible self visualization exercise, which I really like. I think it's important for us to not only be focused on what we can see and what's around us in the present, but also visualizing. And sometimes, right, when we talk about escaping, maybe where I'm living or where I'm at right now is not safe and not happy, but can I visualize a space that is happy, right? Whether that space be my own place, my own room, being at the beach, right? Being at a festival or a concert, or back at school, right? For those of us who have been isolated and not able to go to school. But just having the power to do that in your mind and to visualize, like, this is a happier place for me and this is where I would want to be. And I would say definitely do that if you can. It only takes about 2-3 minutes sometimes to just give yourself a break and visualize where you want to be, and to think about, what do I smell in this place? What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel like inside when I'm there? And then set goals and find ways to get to that place. Obviously, if it's something like a beach or something, some of those are a little bit more attainable. You figure out, okay, who can take me? All right, it's the weekend. Hey, bro, hey sis, hey friend, do you have time today? I really want to go to the beach. And if not, let's plan it for next week. I really want to go to the beach. That's my happy place. I need a place to relax and just kind of escape from my reality right now. So on that same note, this exercise is a visualization, but you're imagining your ideal self. Who do I want to be, right? So I asked you a couple questions. What would your life look like? How would you spend your time? And who would be by your side? And then I would add questions to that, like, how will you treat others, right? How will you feel when you wake up in the morning? Different things like that can help you start to, either, if you're experiencing it right now, that's perfect. You can reflect and be like, man, I woke up feeling good today. I've been feeling confident. I've been going after it. And on the days where you're not, you can visualize it and try to work to get to that place, right? And I think using that plan that was on the first worksheet of doing and using your strengths, or building up on strengths that you want to have, is going to help you boost your mood and boost your confidence in yourself. Because every day you're going to check off, yep, I did what I said I was going to do. Yep, I did what I said I was going to do. Even though today was a hard day, even though I was sleepy, even though I was tired, even though, right, I had more chores than I expected, I still made time for myself to do it. And you gotta spend that time at the end of the day to pat yourself on the back and say, man, today was tough, but I still did what I wanted to do. And that's huge. That's important. That's going to get me to the next level. And I think it's most important that when you spend that time at the end of the day to reflect, you're realizing that you're already on track, right? So that way you're not waiting until the day that you have that nice house or that nice job, or until you have that wife, or until you have, right, that individual, or whatever your dream is. You're not waiting till you get there to be happy. You can start being happy that I'm on track right now. I took the first step, right? I took the second step, or even that you're just taking the space to take care of yourself, right? And so this is the best possible self. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that worksheet just so you can get a look at it. For those of you, depending on your age, some of these categories might not quite fit, but for the piece that talks about professional, you can even think professional and educational, if you don't currently work or have a job. So I'm going to put this on here just for you to check it out. As you see on here, it says, on the following pages, you will imagine and describe your best possible self across those 3 domains, and then you're going to visualize it for 5 minutes. And then it says, record your practice in the chart below. I think it's important to put stuff down on pen and paper, because it makes it a physical evidence of what you've done and what you're exploring. And let's see. Excuse me. This piece right here is really key. Visualizing yourself, in much detail as possible. Think of a scene or best possible self that you might find yourself in. Imagine the sights, sounds, and feelings that you would experience. And then a tip here, if you feel distracted during the visualization, if you notice that your mind is wandering, it's totally okay. Don't be hard on yourself about it. Just bring your thoughts back to the exercise once you're aware that you're slipping away. Okay, and then the visualization log is here. Has it for a whole week, Monday through Sunday. Again, for the professional piece, for some of you, it may be professional or educational. And then it really goes into details here about the best possible self and different types of like cues that you can use to help you think about like, what does it mean for my personal domain, right? What does it mean for my personal ideal self? So on here we have skills. So these are things that you can do. It may be like being able to drive, being able to fix a bike, right? Being able to clean, knowing how to build things, fix things, right? Different skill sets. Could even be mathematical skills, right? Understanding algebra, trigonometry, sciences, English, reading, writing, right? There's a whole set of different skills and things that you can explore that I'm sure you already have, but sometimes, unfortunately, we're not always aware that, oh, I'm pretty good at this, or, I'm good at this. I'm good at listening to people. I'm good at giving advice, right? Whatever those skills may be, and then building on those. Hobbies are also included in here, right? So the things you do in your free time, your personality traits. So are you kind? Are you patient? Are you giving? Right? And not that you have to be the combination of all of those things, but what comes to you naturally, right? There's some of us who love being around other people, and there's some of us that are a little bit more introverted and like need our alone time. And that's totally okay. But how do you bring out your personality when you're in that space or have the opportunity to do so? And then for health, what does your ideal self look like health wise, right? Are you mobile? Are you able to walk and talk? Are you able to run? Are you able to lift a lot of weight maybe? Or are you just in a space where mentally and physically you're healthy, you're taken care of, right? Like you're free from diabetes and different things like that. And then also personally, your accomplishments. For myself, a good example would be like my educational accomplishments, my career accomplishments of getting a bachelor's degree at Whittier, right? Getting a master's degree at Santa Clara, and now being a licensed therapist. That was like a 7-year process from in college and grad school, and then another 2 years of experience in getting my hours. So that was a 9-year plan that I accomplished. And that's a really big deal. You set out to do something over a course of 9 years and you get it done. You deserve to pat yourself on the back. And you should be a little bit more confident in your ability because you did a big goal. And so just realizing your accomplishments right now, whether it was graduating elementary school, right? Making new friends, maybe you're a shyer person and it's hard for you to reach out to people. Those different things like that could fit in this personal domain. The next piece is for best possible self, professional or educational, right? And it's just like, what do you do? How do you spend your time, right? When you think about work, many of us work 8 hours out of the day. We come home, we eat, we sleep, we do it again. And so do you have a job that fulfills you? Is it something that you like doing? And if it's not, are you working towards setting up the opportunity for you to get that job that you like, whether it's through education, right? Or through networking, connecting with others that are doing the stuff that you want to do? Is it that you're, maybe just on a side hustle right now, building up a little money until you can invest in yourself in your own business, right? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you someone who wants to just create your own business and make your own money, work for yourself, right? I think of some rappers like Nipsey Hussle, Jay-Z, but also think about, the Steve Jobses and the different people who created a company that is now worth so much money. And they're continuing to work hard on that, right? They're building their skills. their income is straight, they're making good money, and they're able to take care of themselves. But to not be, again, tied to, oh, I gotta be making this much money. I gotta have all these things to feel good about myself. No, just being a good person, just being good to yourself and good to the people around you should help you feel better about yourself. And as you spend time reflecting on your day and realizing, oh, I was the type of person that I like, right? I'm the type of person that makes the people around me proud of me, or proud to know me. Those are things that I would say place more value on. And if you're having trouble being that type of person, then exploring, like, why is that? Why is it hard for me to be nice? Am I just angry? Am I dealing with something, right? And what steps do I need to take then to address those things, right? Whether it be talking to a friend, talking to someone that loves and cares about you, asking for help, getting somebody that can hold you accountable, right? Somebody that can check in on you. Hey, have you been doing your workouts? Have you been doing these things that you said you wanted to do to help you feel good? Having that partner. And as a part of this visualization, maybe you're visualizing what that would look like, who's going to be around you and helping you to keep doing these things. And then the last piece is just on the social, which I kind of jumped into a little bit: romantic relationships, friends, family, social activities. What does that look like on a daily or weekly basis for you? If you're more introverted, okay, maybe you're not, daily spending time around people, but when you do spend time around people, how do you feel? How do you look? Like, how are you engaging with them? How are you interacting? And just visualizing that and making it your reality. And so, again, the directions are on here. I shared the link and I can share it again if you're not able to get access to it, but I will stop sharing and jump back on the stream. How's it going, Quincy? And then let's see. I don't know if there's got about 5 minutes. I can either spend this time maybe in silence for people. I don't know if there's questions that are coming in that we can jump on, or what we should do.
I have a question. Someone
Go ahead.
They said, my brother calls me names and it makes me angry. What do I do?
Good question. So, I mean, I think the first piece is, it's always twofold for me. And this might not be the answer that y'all want, but I'm always curious, just the way I grew up, like, why is he calling you names? Why is he mistreating you? What is he dealing with that's causing him to want to mistreat you, right? I know earlier I mentioned with the bullying piece, or just being mean to people, like, is he being mean to you to feel better about himself? And sometimes then, if that's the case, how can you take that power back, right? How can you not get as upset as he makes you, or sad, right? And think of it like, oh, that's not me. He not really talking about me. He's pushing his stuff onto me, right? So he mad about what's going on in his life, and now he's saying, man, you stupid, you this, you that, right? All these different names. And it's like, well, am I stupid? Like, nah, like I'm cool. I'm getting good grades. Like, and to start challenging whatever it is that he's saying about you. And if it's something that you don't like, or something that you're like, well, he is telling the truth, Sean, then to sit with, well, what do you want to do about that? Do you want that to still be your truth, right? If it's that, hey, man, you lazy or something, right? Okay. Going back to the plan on the worksheet that we went through, what are things that you can be doing daily and you tracking it? So when he call you lazy, you got your shit, you say, I ain't lazy. Over the last week, I've been doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? And so you start to combat and challenge the negative things that people are telling you, so that it disconnects your value. And you can't say, oh yeah, that's all I am. They're telling the truth about me. I'm nothing. Nah, like, look at me. I got evidence right here. Mm-hmm. I hope that's helpful. Any more questions that are coming in? I love the questions. Please keep them coming in.
There was one person that asked, or this was a question I had asked for earlier.
Okay.
It was, what's the best way to address, like, the because you were talking about, like, the issues, basically the issues of self-esteem. And right. It's like, yeah, okay, like, what's the best way to address those so you can basically move on from that and build your self-esteem?
So kind of like, are you talking about like how I was saying, like what it could look like when you have low self-esteem, like the different things that you might be doing? Right. I think the first step is always awareness, because if we're not aware that that's what we're struggling with, then we don't know what to fix, right? But then I would say the second step to that, if you have the support of somebody, it's then making somebody else aware, right? If you feel safe enough to do that, right? So I'll share a personal piece. I have a twin brother who's going to be doing a talk next week for y'all, May 8th. But he be working out all the time and I don't be working out. Like I be slipping and he getting buff and like we look the same, but now he buffer than me, right? So everybody like, Sean, what's going on with you, right? Like I need to get on it, right? So I told him straight up, I was like, hey man, I've been slipping. Like, can we start working out together, right? And so because he knew I wasn't working out, right? So we were already aware of it, but for me, it made me feel. I didn't feel good not working out. I was like, I should be spending at least 30 minutes to get some push-ups in, something. Mm-hmm. And so having that accountability partner, somebody else that now knows this is what I'm struggling with. Hey, bro, can you support me in this, right? And hopefully you have somebody in your life that can support you if it's something like physical or something like that like y'all can do together. Or if not, you start checking and monitoring yourself. And it's just like, you know what? I ain't worked out today. All right, right? I would slide this table back, get my 10 push-ups in real quick. Now I can say I worked out today. Now, and once the blood starts flowing, I might want to keep working out. I might say, right, you know what? I do got like 20 minutes. Let me go ahead and keep working, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think just that awareness piece. And then in that moment, it's like, can I switch my mindset, right? Dang, all I've been doing is playing video games today. Okay, as soon as you're aware of that, what else can you do today? And hopefully, right, with coping skills, you can even look up, there's a link. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's a link that says 100 coping skills. You bound to find something on there that you can do that's easy. That's easy for you to start doing today, right? And I know one of the talks might actually be on coping skills as well, so you can learn some more there. But let me see. Here we go. I'm gonna drop that link in the chat. But even that just gives you something else you can do. And if I say the best case is like go through the list and like, oh yeah, I do this or I like this. And I can start doing this. And I have a friend I can reach out to for this. And then you start making your plan like, all right, so it's the weekend. I know myself now, right? You know that if I don't plan nothing, I know what I'm gonna end up doing all day today. And it's not stuff that I necessarily want to do, but it's just what I do. It's just normal for me, right? And so to even start breaking those habits, like, all right, I might play video games for 4 hours, but I'm gonna take a walk after that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna bring my phone maybe, right? And I'm just gonna be out in the world and just, I mean, obviously if it's safe to do that, right? To be out without a phone or something. Or you bring a phone and you say, I'm not gonna use it unless I need to, right? You keep it in your pocket. And you just looking at the world, you thinking about who do I wanna be? You thanking yourself in the moment. You know, thank you, Sean. That's the conversation you gotta have with yourself, because so easy we putting ourselves down all the time in our minds, right? Damn, you ain't doing nothing. That's another day you wasted. That's another day, you know, whatever it might be. We listen to the messages of others, but we also have some negative messages to ourselves. And so while you on the walk, like, I'm walking. I said I was gonna do this. That's what's up. I'm killing it right now, right? And just start boosting yourself up. And then when you come back, hopefully you got somebody you can share with. I took my walk today, and they should be proud of you, right? And if you got friends around you that's not proud of you and they hating on you, why you doing that? You think you better than us? Look, man, you can do it with me, or in a minute they're gonna start knocking themselves out of your life. Because as you moving forward, the train don't stop for nobody, right? So you either decide you want to jump on the train with me, let's get healthy together, or you can stay there and I'm not gonna cut you off. You can cut yourself off, because I'm gonna keep doing what I gotta do. Hey, look, 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8, I gotta do this. If you ain't there, then we gonna slowly grow apart, and that's just the way it is, right? But understanding too, as you build up your self-esteem, as you build up who you are, you're gonna attract the right people around you. Sometimes you're gonna get the negative people, but you're gonna find, right? Maybe you start going to the gym. You start meeting people that go to the gym every day. Now every day from 5 to 7, you in there with the gym. Hey, what's up, bro? You talking, you playing basketball. Now that's your new friendships around healthy stuff, right? And so, or maybe you take a walk and every time you see the same old dude every time you hit the block, right? You taking your walk and you start saying, what's up to him? How you doing, right? Whatever. And then before you know it, y'all might have a little bit of a connection. It's just, that's my walking buddy. Like I see him on the walk, I say, what's up? You know, I throw the deuce to him and we move on about our day. But you start building a new reality. You start building a new life, right? And I would say if, like, for example, video games is the one I use because COVID, I think, and then for younger people, like, it's just a big thing that people do. But there's people you connect with that you might be cool with. What else do y'all want to do today? Right? Can we hop on FaceTime and just talk about what's going on today? What, you know, life, like what's happening? Like, man, they killed another black dude. Like, I need to process that, because if we keep that in, bro, that's going to destroy you. I'm telling you right now. Right. And so it's just like, how do you use even the stuff that you do that maybe your mom is saying, hey, that's not healthy. You need to get off that game. Okay, but I got some connections on there that I can take off the game with me. So from 4 to 8, I can't be on the game, but hey, we could chop it up. We can get on FaceTime. We could, let's play, something else. Or maybe we can meet up in person and go play football, throw the football, right? And so you're creating new experiences and relationships. I hope that's answering your question.
It is. It is.
Okay.
You gotta really, although for the self-esteem, you gotta put yourself in positions to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have good self-esteem and keep doing the things
and just stay there. Yeah, if you stay there, ain't nothing gonna change.
You gotta progress yourself. You have to tell yourself you need to progress.
Absolutely. And then I think, again, right, at the end of the day, when you reflect, it's so important we reflect on our day. How was today for me, right? And give yourself space to mess up, because we're gonna mess up, right? Dang, I didn't do nothing today. And that's okay. Either I can get up in this moment if I got the energy, do a little something so I can say, oh, I did do something today. Or you say, all right, well, what's my plan for tomorrow morning so I can start my day doing something. And when I get in my bed tomorrow night, I won't be saying the same thing to myself, right?
You feel accomplished at the end of the day.
You feel accomplished, but you got to thank yourself for that. You got to give yourself credit. We never give ourselves credit positively. We always beat ourselves up. I didn't do nothing today. Or even the little things that we did. Yeah, but I only worked out for 10 minutes. That's negative. Only worked out for 10 minutes. No, switch that. I worked out for 10 minutes and tomorrow I might work out for 15. Or if I can just work out for 10 minutes every day for a week, that's better than last week. I bet you that. Because last week you had 0, right? Or last week you had 2 minutes, right? You did a quick jog and you ran to the kitchen. Like that's all you did. Like, okay, let's build on that, right? But just even switching that mindset, being positive and kind to ourselves, right? And as a result, you're going to start feeling more confident. You're knocking out your goals. You're watching yourself make progress that nobody can combat because you got proof. You got a chart that you filled out. Yep, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. All right, 70 minutes last week. What we doing this week? And you just start pushing that envelope and building that group around you that's going to help you keep doing those positive things. Are there any more questions that's coming in? I'm hoping that there are.
I kind of had a follow-up to when you said about you have to put yourself in you got to find the certain people. Well, in my case, I'm 20, so most people around me are most of my friends, they're either in school, they're not working, and they're at the house chilling. Me, I'm trying to get to a point where it's like I'm trying to set myself up soon because I'm trying to progress now. I realized that like I'm in COVID, this should be the time I should develop a skill.
You could build something up,
That's what I'm saying. But because my friends aren't necessarily on that same hype I'm on, it's harder to push myself.
Because you ain't got no support there. Yeah,
I don't have a support system. Because I tell them about like what I want to do. Because I'm more like I like real estate, or I'm trying to. I think what I want to do is something in real estate.
Okay.
But when I tell my friends about the real estate, or like I want to do like property, like real estate wholesaling and stuff like that, they see like, oh, you got a heck of money for that. But it's not even the sense of, it's just really the connections to that part. But that's the thing, I just don't know how to find the connections for what I want to do.
Well, I think the first thing is like you're doing right now, speaking it into existence, what you want to do. Because little do you know, right? I might know somebody that's doing that. Right. And so you got to connect right there. I got a guy that helps my fiance's family get houses.
Wow.
He in real estate. He got a team, right? They invest, they go buy, they break down, right? And I'm not saying that he can help you necessarily, but because it exists, you know it's possible for you, right? And maybe that will be a connection, right? But I think even for some, family ain't always got to be on the hype as you either, right? Family and friends. But if you're saying, hey, bro, how much money you spend on X, Y, and Z a month? That's like you wasting money, right? And if you can determine, oh, I can save this much, and across 10 of us, if we can put up $10,000 each, we got $100,000.
We got
right.
We got property.
That's to get a down payment in, and then we just make our payments, and before you know it, we renting that out. It's making money back for us, right? And so I think even
and that was my goal. That's how I was trying to run it down to them. But they were like,
they ain't trying to hear it.
You gotta have millions of dollars and whoop, and it's like
it's not that deep.
You got to know how to do it.
But you just got to know how to do it.
They not in the mindset I'm in yet, or
yeah. And then my flip would then be like, so if you find yourself alone in that, so I don't have 10 people, Sean, to get my 100,000. All right. How do you get $100,000?
Well, for me, if I wanted to do the real estate thing, I would look for like a small, well, not even for that. I would rent a property out. I would get to have that money coming back into me, because that's after they pay, because they're going to pay.
They're going to pay you off. Yeah.
And all the rest that doesn't go into the bills, that's going into my pocket.
Right.
So that's the buildup. So for me, it's just really, I'm just trying to get that first part, which is to get that sit, or to get that house, or to get that property, or whatever, and then the rest is going to fall in for itself. But
and I invite you to even break that big goal down, because that's a big goal, right? A house. Like I'm 28, and I'm, God willing and thankful and blessed to say that yesterday I moved into a house that I'm gonna buy. Right. Thank you. But that take time, man. Like there's a lot that happened before that. But I've also set myself up, right, in my case, it's been education, to where I'm getting a job that pays me that $100K that you want. So I'm working on goals on the side of doing this big thing, right? And now maybe in 3-4 years, I got a couple properties, right? Because I'm saving my money, right, or spending it right. Unfortunately, in my situation, I got debt too, so I got to pay that off too, right? Money makes the world go around, so it's always a money issue. But if I got 2 or 3 people with me, we might be able to do that if we all getting paid that dollar amount, right?
Around a certain amount, yeah, we can do that.
Right. And that's a 10-year plan though, right? From 18 to 28, basically, for me, right? And it might be longer for some people, it might be shorter. But what are you doing on a weekly, monthly basis to set yourself up so in 10 years when you look back, you're like, oh yeah, I did that, right? And so not needing it now, because you valuable and you worth something right now in this moment for the dream, just for being you, and then having a dream that you have. That's your dream, right? And so you don't need to reach the dream to be anybody. Right now, you are somebody. And so start building on that. Who am I? What are my strengths, right? Going back over your strengths. And maybe your strengths are you good at teaching people, convincing people, right? But to be the best teacher, you got to be educated. So are you on YouTube? Are you on, different apps and going through and learning, like, how do you build a team of investors, right? How do you get multiple streams of income? Because it don't have to be that you get the house first. That might be your 5th or 10th step, right? The first couple steps might be just getting some money, making some good money. And then whatever job you at, how do I level up there? How do I get to the next, to where I get to where I want to be? Yeah. And so I would say always breaking down the goals into smaller steps. Even if it's this week, it's just like, how much is needed for a down payment, and getting an understanding of that. So that then when you educate people, right, it's like, hey, between the 20 of us, right, maybe you can grow your group to 20. Just put in 5,000, man. I just need you to put in 5. I just need a little something, and before you know it, you got something.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So I say breaking it down.
You gotta. This key, is it a good key? Is it a crucial point to write stuff down? Because
I would say so.
It
makes it real. Right. It's not, it could be on your phone too. It don't have to be on pen and paper, because you can lose that. Right. And you can lose your phone too, but just up here is not enough. Put it on your wall, put it on your mirror, something you're going to see every day, and you checking in with yourself when you look in the mirror. Am I living this? And if I'm not, can I be nice to myself and realize that I'm not, and then make that switch today? And if I can't today, right, we have bad days, we have bad months, we have bad years, but how do I not just stay in that low place? How do I build out of that, right? And get the support that I need to do it? I think that's that awareness piece. And then, are you willing to do what it takes? And sometimes that means being uncomfortable, right? Sometimes that means getting a therapist, talking to somebody, sharing things that you ain't never shared, so that you can understand yourself better and give yourself a chance. I think sometimes as Black men, especially, right, we just keep it to ourselves. Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. No, you're not, right? And I'm lying to you. And if I was brave enough to tell you, you might actually tell me, damn, man, I'm going through that too. And now we making a plan together to overcome this thing that we both experiencing. But behind the mask, we pretending it's all good, right? And so, yeah, I think just being aware first, that's the hardest part, because we deny. We got so much denial within ourselves. We lie to ourselves, right? And then we let other people's lies. So like the person that asked the question, my brother calls me names. We let their lies, we internalize them, and then we see ourselves as that. That's not true. That's not who you are, right?
Calling us and not to what we are.
And then who are you? Who are you actually, right? And then if you throw in a spiritual component, I'm a religious spiritual person. who does God say that I am, right? When I start looking at the Bible, I didn't like to read the Bible before. I read it now just to see who did he say that I was. He said I was blessed, I'm highly favored. And now I look back at my life and be like, you're right. Like I should have died right there. This should have happened, but it didn't. I think you're telling me my truth, right? And I get some of my truth from that, and then I get my truth from my fiance, my brother, my parents, right? That's telling me I'm proud of you. You're doing it, this, that. And you got to let that enter the same way that you let the stupid or you dumb or those comments enter you. They should have the same value, or at least be more, carry more weight, the positive stuff, so that you can make less room for the negatives.
All right. Well, you know what? I thank you so much for your time today. I thank you for the questions that were asked. Congratulations to you on your new wedding, your bride to be, and the whole process of matrimony. And thank you so much for giving back to your community.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. All right. Peace and love.